on another show. But let's jump right into today's conversation. I wanted to welcome you guys to join us in having a conversation about alpha women versus alpha men. And what are your thoughts about that? What do you think when it comes to a woman being in position of her own process, in position of her own destination? And why are women kind of viewed differently than men are? So before we break into this conversation, hello guys, how are you? How's everybody going? What's been going on? Let's catch up real quick.
Rhonda.
Hey, I'm doing great. This is Rhonda. I'm
Well,
doing great. On vacation, a small vacation till next week. Just had a big move this week, so pretty busy, but I'm pretty well. Thank you.
okay, awesome. I love the color. Very cute. Kofi?
Thank you.
I'm doing good too. I'm not on vacation. We'll be in a couple weeks. Just another long work week. Glad that it's the weekend and I got my cocktail by my side.
Listen, be
I wish I had one.
and let me tell you something. The funny thing is, this show is called Cocktails Confession. And thank you so much for bringing it up because the show is Cocktail Confession. It's Sunday. We come here to relax, talk about our week, talk about the topic at hand. Kofi, that cocktail looks good. And people who don't know, I'm not a drinker. I will have a glass of wine every far in a blue moon. You can X round to that. I'm not a drinker, but I wanted you to know that we are not always serious here on the show. There's a lot of times, like Friday, we had game night. You should check us out on game nights. It's a lot of fun. We're looking for more people to participate. On Sunday, you're going to get a balance of a little things. We're going to be talking about hard-hitting topics, and we're also going to be talking about some fun and lighthearted things. I thought today's topic was not that crazy, but it's important to talk about because there's this stigma when it comes to women who are in a position of being leaders and standing up for what they believe in and being an alpha woman. But oftentimes we have to be apologetic about that because we're seen to be bitchy. Oh, you got an attitude, especially a Black woman. It seems something when an alpha white woman is in that position, she seems to be like she know what she's going for. She's got her head on straight, and she doesn't get the kind of same judgment that women of color do. So I'm just wondering, what do you guys think about when it comes to alpha women? Rhonda, you being a woman in the business of cosmetology business, and oftentimes there's this competitiveness with women who are not Black women, also a competitiveness with women who are Black. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, being an alpha woman, meaning that, I've worked all of my life since I was 13 years old. So that's what made me an alpha woman. Watching things and women become more and more independent during my era. I've watched them become very independent because a lot of things happen with men, lots of divorces, cheaters, things like that. So when I turned 13, I was just like, well, I'm going to do me. I'm going to make sure I buy my clothes. I'm going to make sure I keep a job. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to do what I have to do to make it in this life. So when you get judged, it's hurtful at times because you become this alpha woman, but it's hurtful because you really want to be soft. But then you find a man, and most men today are not like good fathers or good men like it used to be back in the day, where the man led the family. Because I truly believe that a man should lead his family and a woman should be submissive only if he deserves that. He has to treat her right. He has to, put her on a pedestal, Oh, I lost you. Oh my God, I lost you guys again.
We're
We,
here.
we
Oh,
see you.
oh my goodness. I keep getting phone calls. I'm sorry. Are you there?
Yeah, we're
Yes, we
here. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's my son. This is horrible. I don't know how to decline all calls during the show. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You
It's all
said,
right. When the show is live, it's live and things happen. So don't worry about it. Go ahead. Keep going.
okay, so yeah, so you know, me working all of my life, being very independent, making my own schedule, making my own money, not really needing a man to do anything for me, except be there, you know, compassionately, you know, in every other way, except um, financially. It's hard because you get paid now and you're like, damn, I worked my ass off my entire life, and all I get is judged by the men I date. Oh, you think you're the boss. You think that you have to run everything. Yeah, but I feel like you can't. So I have no choice but to do that. I would love to have a man come in my life and take over. I really would, and I feel comfortable with it, and be able to be submissive, stay home, cook because I want to, keep my beautiful home. But it's hard when you can't find men out here like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
You know, I definitely get where you're coming from. I want to reserve my thoughts about what I'm thinking, because I want to hear from you guys, my co-host, about it. Kofi, what are your thoughts when you have female friends, you have women that you work around, you work in the workforce. What are your views about the alpha view of a woman versus the alpha view of a man?
So my mother and father, my mother was the alpha female. She was the alpha in the house. In her marriage with my father and her relationship with my stepdad. With my father, she made more money than him. He was from Africa, traditionally Ghanaian, like the woman is supposed to be submissive, but my mother was born in the South. She was born strong. She was not backing down. So they butted heads repeatedly, and that's why they did not stay together. But I was too young to remember their relationship, but from what I heard from family members and from two of them, it was very combative. And he tried to break her down, but she wasn't willing to break. With her relationship with my stepfather, she made more money than him. He's a strong man, but he played his role in the household as being the submissive one. He would build things, work on the cars, like do the manly things. But when it came to making the decisions, paying the bills, he allowed her to do that. When he got paid, he gave her his check, which, to make sure that all the bills were paid and everything. So I'm familiar with having a very strong alpha female role. I have friends, one who's a doctor, who all the different guys that she's dated are afraid of her because she is a doctor and they're not. She has a strong presence, and she really, unfortunately, doesn't have long-lasting relationships because of the male's insecurity, because of her role, her profession, her finances. It's difficult for some men nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you say difficult, what do you mean?
Difficult
In what way?
to have a alpha female, like, because the traditional roles, as even Rhonda said, is for the man to be the breadwinner. That's what we as men are raised to be. We're supposed to be the head of household. We're supposed to be the breadwinner. We're supposed to take care of our women and our families. So if you have a woman who makes more money than you, who has a strong personality as well, it can be difficult to find that happy medium to where you can make things.
So I wonder, when it comes to children growing up in a home where uh, I think compared to many years ago, it was different. It was viewed that, the father, the male figure in the home, was the head of the house. He was the one to make the decisions, and the woman in the home she had her role, and her role was to rear the children, and so forth and so on. Even if he kept the money or gave the money to the wife to pay the bills, he was still seen in that role as the lead of that family. So I just kind of think about it from this perspective. I wonder what the thoughts of people now in the 20th century, the new millenniums who are growing up, and females are trying to walk in that light, and guys are like, no, I'm the man. I wear the pants. You follow me. This is what I want us to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is the decision I'm making for us. I kind of wonder how people really sustain those relationships in a way of saying that you're not crossing the line, that the man is not looking submissive or weak, because nowadays many people have this um, label out there that if a man takes a side position to a woman or take a backseat to the woman, he is seen to be weak, docile. He is considered to be not strong. He's not a leader. He can't make a decision for his family. She's controlling of him. And oftentimes, I don't think we all really know the true picture behind that. I think there's a number of men possibly out there who actually are okay with their significant other taking that lead.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I think, like, I don't have a lot of young friends. Like, we're all roughly around the same age, but just at least seeing the staff where I work, there are a lot of young people there. I think that women, at least on the surface, because I may not know them personally, but on the surface, they portray themselves to be strong. So, so I wonder in their relationships if they are as strong as they portray to be in the office, or if they lessen themselves with their men. I'm not trying to switch gears, but I think that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of domestic violence, because women, men and women are both raised to be strong, especially nowadays from stuff that I read. Women, like independent women, Destiny's Child, we're supposed to be strong, do my own thing, whatever. And if a man can't break you mentally, maybe that's one of the reasons why there's so much physical violence in households and within relationships to try to break them. You know, I know that's a whole nother story.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Rhonda, you are frozen, so you might want to sign back in.
Am I still frozen?
Yes, you've been frozen for a minute. Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me go out.
Okay. So, no, I agree with you. But we also often, I think now, especially in social media, in the time of social media, what we're seeing right now is a lot of women in position of saying that I am going to lead my destiny. No man is going to tell me how to move and shift around this situation in my life. I'm in control of my life. I'm going to create the narrative in my life. But I know that for me, when I walk in a position of, let's let her back into the meeting. Our co-host, she was having some technical issues. When I walk into the position of an authoritative position, meaning just me making a decision, I have ran across women, even from my own walk, kind of say, oh, who does she think she is? You know, why she has so much attitude? When you walk in a position of confidence, you know, I'll never forget that I cover a number of offices in the line of work that I do. And I walked into an office and this young lady came up to me. She caught me by the elevator and she was like, you know what? Can I just say something to you? And I was like, sure. She says, I love when you enter this office. I was like, really? She went on to say that you carry yourself in such a way, it's just like, I just adore that. I wish I can take some of that. Now, it's not to say that I saw her in a submissive way or she's not like that. She actually told me, and she does talk quiet. Maybe it's around people in the office because those people are not her friends, but her colleagues. And with her friends, she has a more outgoing personality. But when she told me that, I have heard that so many times, but I also heard that from people who were judging me. Oh, here she comes, you know, who asked her opinion, or, you know, it was very judgmental towards me when I just felt confident in what I was doing. I felt good about myself. I felt good about how I was presenting myself. I felt good about what I was wearing. And there is this thing where people just can't handle you being an alpha woman. I used to actually put that down. I used to say, I'm not an alpha person. But I'll be very honest with you. I said that in defense because I was not sure what the alpha woman actually represented. It was this stigma, this negative uh, notion to it. It was not this, oh, praise, like, you know, alpha woman wear that. It was something that you were to be shame of.
I don't know. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, I I am who I am. We are who we are, especially because of the way we were raised. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, during the 60s and 70s, a lot of men, started cheating, black men in particular, where they used to stick to their wives during when they were coming out of slavery. They stuck to their wives. They were good men, and even though they did cheat later in the 60s and 70s, where it really started like heavily happening to all types of women in America, I guess because of women's lib and everything like that. Um, we were taught to, be strong, like men, basically, because that's what we want. We want it. We want equal pay. We want equal rights. Um, but at the end of the day, no matter how you look at it, in every religion, no matter what you believe in, a man is supposed to take care of the household. And it's sad that we take care of the household. And now, a lot of times, the other man, the man can't even handle his part completely the way he should. So, also, it's systematic, It's systematic racism as well, because the way they have put the black man down so bad and made it so hard for him to be able to work and make good money. They will give a black woman the same job and give her way more money than that black man. So what causes that is for a woman to curse that black man out and look down on him. And that was their plan, for us to look down on the black man, and even we have to look at them like they're nothing, like the rest of the world look at them like they're nothing. And it's not fair. It's just not fair. So at the end of the day, yes, we are alpha. I'm an alpha female, but heart wants to be soft, and I want that male to take over. I don't want to be the boss all the time, but I'm forced to be the boss, and that's what stresses me out. It's really bad the way the system is, especially on the systematic racial thing.
But wait a minute, can you not be in a relationship with a man who takes the lead, who provide for his family, and you still be an alpha woman? Like that's where my this question I want to know from you guys. Can you not believe that you can be in a relationship with a man who's very strong, who's a leader in his household, who sets the tone, meaning that he knows that his priority is to provide for his family, and you still be an alpha woman?
Yeah, I think you can.
Absolutely.
But it has to be the alpha woman that's respectful, though. You know what I mean? A respectful alpha woman, understand and appreciate what the man has done, and that he is working. He's just quiet, or very calm, because opposites attract. So if you have an alpha woman, you're gonna have this man. What's the opposite of the alpha woman? Excuse my ignorance. What's the opposite of alpha? Omega?
No, 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 no,
I don't know.
no.
I don't know, but whatever it is, excuse my ignorance to
Wait,
everyone.
no, it's okay. And Kofi, what did you say it was?
Just submissive.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's It's a
Well,
submissive position.
I don't think it's submissive. I think because submissive means you're being submissive to a person, giving into them and catering to them. But whatever the opposite of the alpha female or male, whatever it is, your alpha personality is. I think that sometimes those people are looked at as weak, like you said, soft, kind-hearted, but they don't deserve to be treated, so strongly in a bad way. I think it's okay to be an alpha female or male in the home, as long as you are kind and respectful. So often, especially like we said, black women, we got it bad. I got it bad. I'm trying to tame myself, because it gets to a point that I'm the alpha female and I handle everything, and I don't even mind handling everything. But when you're not doing your part, and you aren't even halfway doing your part, and you're allowing me to do this because I think I know it all because I'm an alpha female, yeah, I might cuss your ass out. That's just me. And even though it's not right, but because I shouldn't be with you, I should just let it go. But when you love someone, it's hard. It's very hard when you're an alpha female and you're trying to explain to that person, listen, I got this on my shoulders. I got this bill to make sure I get paid. Every time I give you the bills, it doesn't get paid. So I have to make sure it get paid. I need the money from you. Then you get mad because you're insecure. Why are you taking my last little bit of money? Excuse me, I'm not taking your last little bit of money. I need your part so you can pay your part. And then it gets to a point that you just get disgusted and you just like, why am I with you? You know,
Well,
it's sad. We get viewed very badly, but we're the strong ones. We are the soldiers. Alpha females and males are the soldiers.
go ahead, Kofi.
I say
My
you,
opinion.
no, you stay with them because you love them. You stay with them because you love them. No?
Love doesn't do it all. You know,
Agreed.
you can love conquers all. Love conquers all, meaning you can still be friends. You can still be friends. You can love someone and you can love them from afar. But when it comes to living in your home and that person is not trying to at least meet you halfway, no.
So is that
Sorry.
person not, and so are you saying someone in that position, in that description, is not an alpha person?
They're more soft and yeah, like you said, sort of submissive. They're more of the ones that sit back and let things happen. And an alpha person is the person who makes things happen. That's the difference. You know, and they get comfortable. That's what I don't like. Just because I'm an alpha female doesn't mean I have to be hard all the time. I want to be soft too. But
I
you got to
want to
give me
just
a reason to be soft.
I want to just kind of go back to the question that was asked, because again, and let me just put this disclaimer out there for anyone watching this show. You come to this show for entertainment, right? You come for this show for entertainment. This show is not, although in the near future, we'll be talking about these master classes when we're having therapists, people in strong position who can come and give us the tools we need to kind of just move out of that situation or that topic and come out of the conversation, have learned something as a viewer or participant of the show. But I want to put the disclaimer out there that when we come on this platform, we're coming with our own views and opinions, right? We're not saying that the way we think should be the way you think. We're not saying that you should agree with us. If you disagree, that's what the chat's for. When it's an open conversation via Zoom, that's where you can share with us and say, I don't necessarily agree. We're not here saying that our feelings are going to get hurt, because I don't always necessarily agree with my panel, and no, they with me. We all are different individuals with different experiences and opinions. And that's what we want to bring to you, as an authentic view of what we see, how we view it, what our walking experience is. And you can get with it and say, oh, I relate with Diamond. I get where Rhonda's coming from. I'm walking in a situation like that. Wait a minute. Oh, Kofi is talking from this male perspective. He's giving us a taste of what, us men are thinking. Or you may not agree with anybody on the show, and that's okay. I wanted to go back and share really quickly when Rhonda was saying, excuse her ignorance about asking about the opposite of the alpha male. And it says here, accountable, a man who chooses not to have a powerful or important role in a social or professional situation. Wow, an alpha male wants to dominate, and the beta male just wants to get by. The omega male has either opt out, or if he's used to giving up or not trying. So I thought the omega was kind of something more strong. It kind of goes in along what Rhonda was talking about. So you were on the right track about that, and I wanted to bring that up because when someone in the chat may look at this show later on and say, "Well, they didn't know." Well, we do our research right on here. That's why we got these good old smartphones and laptops to the side of us. Pull it out and get the information so that we can let you know that we want to give you right information when we're talking about a situation. We definitely do our homework on the back end. Says we're going to have a conversation, but we're not always going to know the answer. And that's what makes us so good. That no one person knows the whole answer. It takes a collective village to say, let's have an open discussion. We're all adults here. Let's put this stuff on the table and talk about it. Again, I have to tell you that I have talked to different people in relationships, and when women stepped up, for some of the men I saw them with, she was out of line. She was totally out of pocket. Like, I'm the man here, even if it's her own home. That's her home. He is a guest because he is someone she's dating, and he like, you out of line. And I've looked, and I'm saying to the individual or listening to the experience, I'm like, how are you out of line when you're paying your own bill, carving your own way through this world, and he don't have his own place, don't drive his own car. He waits for you to pick him up, but you out of line and you need to kind of pull back and not be so forthcoming about what you want or don't want. I have a, for me, I have a problem with that. That's just not the role I play.
I agree with you. I have a friend who's married and she has kids, and her husband had children before meeting her, so a lot of his money goes towards child support for those other kids. She's the breadwinner. She makes more than him annually, and she's frustrated because she would like for him to step up financially. There's dreams and aspirations. They do own a home, but she wants a bigger home because her family is growing, and she would love for him to step up. And it's frustrating to her. But I was, as her friend, I'm like, and as a man, I'm like, well, you knew this when you met him. You knew this when you married him. You knew this when you had kids with him. Unfortunately, you know what the situation was. But she's still frustrated because this is her reality now. You know, when she was younger, she loved him, was willing to deal with what he was bringing to the table, but now that their life's different, she's frustrated because of the reality. His life hasn't changed, but her life has. With getting married, with kids, getting promotion with her job, he's still stagnant. But unfortunately, and the reason why I said what I said to you, Rhonda, because you love him. I asked her, like, why are you still with him? She said, because I love him and for my kids. She wants to keep the family together.
You can still love someone from afar. If it gets toxic in the home, because one is too strong and the other is too weak, and then the weak, what happens is they lash out at you, knowing that they're not capable because they don't know how, they weren't taught. And then it's bad when they weren't taught and they won't go get help to learn. It can be very toxic.
Wait.
Very.
Ron, it's so funny you're saying that. So what I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the experience you're talking about is, I see this. An alpha woman cannot raise an alpha male. You have to be an alpha male. You need to have some of that already within you. For a strong woman to
Right.
come up and get into a relationship with she's already an alpha woman. And in a way of saying, listen, I know what I want and I know what I don't want. I know what I want. I know what I want in my relationship. I know what I want for my future. I know what I want for my children. I know what I want for my business. Okay, so I know that I got in this relationship with you, and you're not an alpha person. You are a little bit more like, you'll let me lead, and I appreciate that. But really, the goal for me is, and this may not be your experience, Ron, but if you can relate, let me know. What I'm looking for you to do is, even though you're not an alpha person, I need you to start picking up some of these traits of how to step up and make a decision
Learn.
on what
Yes.
I need you to be. The seesaw can't lean too far to the left or to the right. And then now, when I'm calling you out on the things that you're not strong in, you're now hurt. Your feelings are hurt. You feel belittled. You feel like I'm taking advantage of you because I don't talk to you with softness. But I can't now. You have already been in that soft space
Because you
for
haven't
too long.
tried. Right. Because you haven't even tried to learn from the person.
Right.
You haven't even tried to learn how. Even if you didn't have it growing up and you're around an alpha person, we are leaders. So we lead the pack. So in that case, learn to follow and learn. And then you don't have to be an alpha male or female, but at least you'll know and take some of the slack off of that alpha person. You understand? And with our personalities, they are so strong. It's a curse and a blessing. We are survivors. Yes. We know how to make things happen. Yes. We go for what we want. Yes. But at the end of the day, you know, you look at some of the soft women and you just be like, tag, I wish I could be like that. Or soft men. I'm sure the men say, tag, I wish I could be a little softer and kinder to this woman, or, you know, whoever your mate is. So at the end of the day, you know, I feel like people should try to learn to make it happen for themselves so that you don't get cussed out by that alpha person. You don't get yelled at or belittled by them. I mean, we have to already deal with every single little thing with working or cleaning or, you know, getting the kids ready for bed or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, we make it happen. We don't complain. We just make it happen. Then other people find it difficult to do it so easily, but we do it so easily because we're ready to make this happen. That's who we are naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we want some to slack off, and then we won't be so aggressive. In other words.
Mm-hmm.
So in the situation that I was just talking about, the husband with the other kids outside of his marriage, prior to his marriage, he is picking up the slack. Like my friend wants him to earn more money. He can't find a job to earn more money, but in other ways, he's the one getting the kids up. He's the one getting the kids ready for school. He's the one taking the children to school. He's the one, for the most part, during the week.
Big.
Yeah, for the most part during the week, cooking dinner. I even spoke to her about it yesterday. Going to the grocery store. Like, she doesn't have to go to the grocery store, but when I spoke to her yesterday, I reminded her of the conversation that we had prior to the pandemic when we were still in the office together. Like, you said you wanted him to provide more financially, but I said he's doing a lot. Like he's doing more than of the maternal duties than you are to the children. And she said, "Yeah, you have a point."
How often does she work?
She works every day. He works every day as well. They have opposite hours.
They both work.
They have opposite hours.
Okay.
Yeah, he works at night. She works during the day. So even when he comes
but you
home,
know what you should tell her? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would tell her, and I had that problem myself, but I came up with a solution. I had to come up with these terms. If I know that I want more money from him financially, and I want him to not do those things, then guess what? If I'm not going to do it and I want more money, then guess what? We hire a nanny to handle the food, drop off the kids, pick them up, and help them with homework. Yes, not being true parents, but if that's the life that you want to live, you got to be true to yourself. If you want more money from that man, let him get a second job. But if like my dad taught me, I don't care if a man makes $15 an hour. Yes, that's low in society today, right? But then that woman makes $20 an hour. That's $35 an hour that you're bringing into the house. Okay, you take that $35 an hour, you put it together, and bring it as one, because that's what that ring means when you're married. One, because there's no breakups in that one marriage ring. That's why when you get it, it goes in a full circle. You become one. So that money could go into the house at $35 an hour, even if that's not the average, but it's a decent amount to survive with your family. But if she wants more from him, she needs to hire a nanny and let him go get the second job. Then she won't even have a relationship because he'll be too tired.
But
that's just the truth.
But is it that easy? Is it that easy to just hire a nanny? As it relates to this topic, alpha women versus alpha men, flipping the script a little bit, when an alpha male makes a decision that this is what he's going to do for his family, and this is what his expectation is for his significant other, be it girlfriend, wife, the mother of his children, what have you, he expects that this is what she's going to follow suit. But again, the role seems to be opposite sometimes. When an alpha woman makes a decision for the household of the family, there's sometimes men struggle with that in some degree. And I don't know if it's because he feel belittled, if he the way you speaking to him. I think sometimes you could just, even if you're an alpha woman and you're asking a man who's not so much of an alpha personality, well, this is what we're going to do. I think this is best for the family situation right now. We need to kind of put this off. Don't you do this. If he can't receive that, he still would feel somewhat judged, as if you're belittling him, because maybe it's just his man ego. I don't know. What do you think, Kofi?
I think it's all in the delivery of how you present whatever you have with your statement. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're barking at him, his wall is going to be up. He's going to be defensive, and he's not going to receive what you're saying. But I'm naturally a social worker. I've been trained, whatever. I like to ask questions to get the person that I'm speaking to think deeply about the conversation or whatever. Instead of just talking directly, I ask questions to provoke thought. And even if you have to say something directly, it's like, instead of saying, "Why don't you get a job?" N-word, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, what is it that you think you can do to bring more to the table? Something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all in the conversation and how you present yourself. My motto is know your surroundings. Know your surroundings, know your place, know your audience. Like if you have an alpha male who isn't really worth bringing anything to the table, know your audience. Like if he's gonna have a defense up, don't come at him with grenades and bazookas and gunshots and everything like that, because he's not going to be able to receive what you're talking about.
I like that. You know what, Kofi? I really like that. I like that you said that, because it helps me even as a person, because the situations I've been in, I get so freaking frustrated. I have no tolerance for ignorance, like true ignorance. Some, yes, of course. Everybody's ignorant at some point, meaning not knowing something. But I have no tolerance. I flip out. And you're right. They can't receive it. But when you say it kindly, 10 times, and then when that 11th time come out, you're going to flip the script and say the things the way you want to, because you've said it nicely 10 times and that person's not receiving it. It's almost like they disrespect you. Like, so what? I don't care what you're saying. But then guess what? Some people don't act until you flip out on them, until you got to give it to them raw, until you give them that true alpha female or male syndrome. When you get that, it's like, damn, how many times I had to ask you nicely? Now you're taking me out of my zone.
And now you're a bitch.
Yeah, my
now you're a bitch.
Yes, now I'm the worst bitch. Yeah.
But like I said,
nicely 10 times.
But like I said, know your audience, know your person, know your person.
Yeah.
Know how you have to get your point across. You understand what I'm saying? And even if you are saying it nice,
said love. That's when you said love. Yeah, love cocks all. But I could love you over across yonder, and I could come visit you in your home. And if your home's nasty and you want to keep it like that, that's on you. You can visit me, and I can say, okay, babe, I'll see you later, and still love you from over yonder, because you're not going to live that way in my house. If I have to keep asking you to do something, knowing that I've been working my butt off every single day, constantly, and you're still not receiving that I'm saying, let's work together. Okay, help make sure. I don't care. You're not a maid. No, I'm not saying you're a maid because I asked you to do the dishes or cook the dinner or, make sure the kids are going to bed. You are I don't want to say helper. I want to say we're equal in the home. So if I'm working extra hard, you should take up my slack.
Let me chime.
I have to work all day and come home and do all that too.
And let me chime in. Are you? Go ahead, Kofi.
So, in that type of situation, because I've been there myself, and work in progress. You know what I'm saying? We all are a work in progress. But like,
I'm definitely.
If you're saying things repeatedly, could you ask your partner, what is it that you hear me saying? Repeat to me.
Oh, I've done that.
And can they articulate it?
And there's a different level. There's a difference in between hearing and listening. Let's be clear. There is a skill in listening. You can say, I hear you, but what did I say? And just because you can repeat verbatim what I said does not mean you heard what I'm saying. So let's be clear. There's
like some people do not listen to understand. They listen to hear what you had to say so that they could keep doing what the hell they were doing. But they're not listening and understand that it's very serious what I'm saying to your ass.
So can you repeat? Like, I hear you and I agree with you 100%, Rhonda. Like, call woo-woo-sa, boo-boo, woo-sa.
But love it. Bring that trans, because there's so many people walking in the shoes of what Rhonda's talking about. And again, when you speak your truth and say this is what you want or don't want, you become very, here she go with this, and people know me. I'm not a cursor but for content purpose. Here go this bitch. Here she go complaining. Here she all in my face, constantly going off. But you're not taking an accountability. And again, for people to know how we're tying this all in together, Rhonda has brought a level of the conversation from an alpha female to a person who's a male who's not an alpha male from the relationship perspective. I am bringing it from the work environment because we're all talking about maybe something we've gone through. And Kofi's talking about it from being a friend, listening to someone actually share with him about a situation. So you have three different avenues of us talking about the alpha female and the alpha male, or in this case, when the male isn't an alpha and the woman is. Kofi, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, so like I said, you can ask him, what is it that I'm saying? And if he can repeat it verbatim, okay, and what does that mean? That takes it to a deeper level. Like,
listen, I'm not his mama. I'm not going to be his mama. He doesn't know. He knows what you're saying. And a woman knows what you're saying when you say it. People like to do things when they want to do it and how they like to do it. And I agree. We all want things our way. Not just alpha females and males. Everybody likes things their way. That's just the truth. Some of us will sit back and allow you to take the lead, but it doesn't mean that I don't like the way my way is too. You understand? We all like to have our way. So my thing is, I'm not going to keep repeating myself over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm not going to keep doing that. So if you respect someone, you may not hear them clearly the first time, but the second time, you're going to hear them clearly and understand them as far as what they meant and what they needed you to do or what needs to be in their life, period. Well, I don't care who it is. You understand? Because I definitely believe love conquers all. It does. But you still have to come to a happy medium. You understand? So that's the thing that troubles alpha people to me. Like, did you freaking understand what I just said? Like, come on. You get to a point that you're so impatient because nobody's really listening to you. You understand? Like, not to put myself out there, but I've been in a relationship where I come in, I'm happy, I had a great day, I'm singing in the car, I get off work, I'm like, yes, go home, I'm gonna make you some good food tonight, I'm gonna cook something. You walk in the house, my whole mood just drops. Like, what the hell? I asked you all when I left at 8 this morning to make sure the house is clean, vacuumed, clean the bathrooms. The kitchen should be clean, so when I walk in, I'm happy to cook the groceries home as well. Now I get there, oh no, I'm putting the groceries in the freezer, and I'm out. Y'all don't want to do what I said? I'm out. If you can't hear this, and you still do this every day, you don't have no respect for me. You don't want to respect me because it comes off as the alpha person, you're jealous of them. I looked at it, well, you don't respect me, so I do it, and I'm doing that. And provide you can do what you need to do, then guess what? I think you're jealous. You have more money. There's no reason to be jealous. As long as I'm providing and doing what I have to do, doing the extra and not even caring that I'm doing the extra and all, there should be no reason why that house should be a mess. Even if you don't have to do it. Tell the kids, get your butts up and do it. Hire me, do what you got to do. But make this woman happy when she come in this house. Just my opinion.
So
I ain't teaching nobody else.
We have 7 minutes before we end the show. And I just want to say that, again, I have, experienced many judgments when it comes to standing in my truth and knowing what I like and I don't like. And I think that for me to watch women get such, at times, a bad rap for being a woman who speaks up and know what she wants, and men get their feelings hurt. Not all men, because there's some men who love an alpha woman. I know some men that love an alpha woman. He loves it. He knows his woman knows what she wants. She's going to go get it. She don't wait for anyone to give it to her. She's a go take charge person. She also knows what she wants from me and what she demands from me. And when you say demand, people want to put a spin on that, like, oh, why you demanding? In my relationship, I demand. Vice versa. You demand something. Not in the way I demand you to be XYZ, but you demand that you're treated with respect because you're not going to have it any other way. I demand that. There is no way I'm going to have a relationship with a friend, male or female, in a relationship with a man, on my job. I'm not going to be on my job and be disrespected. There are tools for you to be able to use so that you can also stand in your position of your truth, right? So I'm just going to do that. I'm not apologetic for speaking my truth. I know my audience. I know that when I'm at work, policies and procedures. So use policies and procedure, and then also stand up and be the alpha woman that you are. Some people when you use policies and procedures because they're there for you to use, some people will still have a problem with that and say, okay, here she comes with an attitude. Oh, she's, if you speak with passion, you got an attitude, you're coming off very aggressive. And there's what I mean with that the B word comes on the alpha. It's not like, okay, let's tip my hat off. This woman knows what she wants. Oh no. People judging you left and right. So it's difficult to be an alpha woman with an alpha man who doesn't respect that, or with a man who is an omega man who is submissive. He allows you to lead, but now he feels like belittled in the relationship.
Well, get up and do something about it. You want to be weak? Get up and do something about it. Go meet with some men and do something. Even women who are submissive, they need to get up and do something about it. If you feel like you cannot respect that alpha person, then you need to dig a little deeper in yourself and figure out what it is that you want and go for it. I don't think anybody should be submissive unless they are happy with that omega. Somebody's got to be the omega. Sometimes it's two omegas. Two alphas. I'm sorry.
Some people like being a submissive person in a relationship, and submissive is not, submissive doesn't have to be it's not a negative undertone. You don't have to take submissive as a way of that's like, oh, that's so bad to do. No. In my relationship, I would not say so. My husband would probably say he's submissive to me, in a way, because he knows, like, my husband can just chill. Nothing moves him, not even the wind. Nothing's going to move him. He's just like, this is my space. I like to do this. And I am the type of woman that I'm always go. Excuse me. I'm thinking about, work, building my brand. I'm thinking about building my home. I'm thinking about a lot of different things. And my husband does support me in that position. He does. But sometimes he can support me too much where he does not. He can be, let's be transparent. It can come off lazy in a way. And he'll be like, listen, I make this kind of money. I go to work and I do my job at work. When I come home, I don't want to do a lot of anything. He's the one that says, look up the people, find the contractors, let's get it done. And I'm like, oh, no. Let's keep the money in our pockets and we're going to do it. So there is the balance of that. So you got to know your audience. You got to know your relationship. And when it doesn't work for you, I guess you decide when to get off that pot and move on to the next one. So let's wrap it up. With our last final saying, let me throw it to Rhonda. Rhonda, give me a quick couple of seconds of wrapping up the show. What did you see for the show? What are you hoping our audience take away?
I think that if you're an alpha person, female or male, including myself, I feel like we should be a little more sensitive to other people's feelings because we think so much. We think so much faster. We think we could do it all, but you don't have to do it all. Even if you're with someone that is not an alpha personality, I think we also should listen to understand. And we should be a little compassionate because they have to, and it's kind of hard sometimes for them to relate to us. I feel like if you are not an alpha person and you have issues or problems and you're unhappy, reach out for some help. Go to group meetings, learn how to, love yourself and say what you need to say, even though you're not an alpha person, and relate to that person. Learn to talk to them so that they can get it as well. None of us are perfect. We're all a work in progress.
Let's get those individuals to come when we have our therapists come on the show and give us some real clinical stuff about what it is to kind of find yourself. Let's bring those individuals to that.
You guys are therapists. You guys do some therapy on me today on this show. How about that?
Okay, Kofi, your final last words?
The only thing I want to say is, in this alpha, omega, whatever, just if you have a difference of opinion in any type of relationship, just present your way respectfully to get a better understanding. Ask questions, open-ended questions, to let the person that you're speaking to paint the picture of the reality that you're trying to receive. And if you want to talk directly to them, talk to them respectfully, like I said, so they can receive what you're saying.
For me, my last final words is a little bit of everything my co-hosts are saying on this show here, right? Know your audience. Choose your words wisely. Know what you want and what your expectations are. Be unapologetic about who you are and what you want in your life. It's your life. Be unapologetic about when you go to work and you show up confident in your work. Don't let anyone rob you because they may be inferior of that, right? It's about you knowing who you are and what you want. And that's in the relationship or the professional work world. Just know what your expectations are. You can't expect something from someone else when you have no idea what to expect from yourself. For me, I am unapologetic. I know how to speak with passion, but get what I want. And when I don't get what I want, I know how to keep working towards that. I want to thank each and everybody who watched this show. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We're on Voices Gathering Live podcast on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, also on Instagram under the same name, Voices Gathering Live. Remember, we're live here on the Cocktails Confession Show every Sunday, 7 o'clock. And we have our show every Friday at 7 o'clock as well. Please drop us a comment. Give us a thumbs up. If you decide to give us a thumbs down, tell us what it was that you didn't like about the show, and then give us constructive criticism. We can take it. If the show doesn't go the way you expected, we're always open for some ideas. And we're always looking for great people to come and sit on this show and talk with us live. Remember this, if you remember nothing. No pressure, no diamonds. Until next time, we'll see you again. Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
On another show. But let's jump right